You've got an iPhone 12, maybe a 13, and it's getting close to the point where you are looking at upgrading. You're not super excited about spending another $1,000 on the exact same phone, just with a different number at the end of it. So you're looking at your options, and maybe you're not even interested in switching. Maybe you're just a little bit curious to see what else is out there. Let's talk through the options of what else is available within the United States if you might be considering switching away from an iPhone. Now, there's two ways of doing this. You either continue using your carrier subsidized plans, where they give you a 2-year contract and you pay your phone off that way, or you buy your phone outright. There's different options either way, but sticking with your carrier plan is going to limit your options a little bit. Really, if you want to stick with one of these major carriers, you're kind of stuck with Samsung, Google, or Motorola. And really, yeah, those are your options. Samsung phones are all great phones. You can't go wrong with them. My thoughts personally is that they are starting to feel a lot more like Apple and the iPhone lineup every single year, making those minor tweaks. Just the way they operate their whole business is starting to feel more like an iPhone. And most of those reasons that you're probably thinking about switching away from iPhone, I feel like Samsung is starting to fall into those categories as well. So for me, I try to focus on phones outside of those two categories. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Devin. I like to talk about all things tech, but specifically phones. And I love the weird, unique, strange, different phones out there. So if that's something you're interested, you're in for a treat. Stick around. Let's talk about some of them. Right now, one of my most recommended phones is the Google Pixel for a lot of different reasons. Not only is it available on all of the major carrier plans, so you can subsidize that cost, but it's also just one of the best well-rounded phone experiences out there. Google obviously has a really large ecosystem that works really well with their phones, not to mention some of the best phones around. On paper, might not be the most powerful phone in existence, but out of the box, this phone is going to provide some of the best possible experience, not to mention adding in all of Google's AI features for free, as well as some of the best looking photos out of these cameras. So the Google Pixel 8 and the 8 Pro are what are currently out. If that's the lineup that you're looking at, you can't go wrong with those phones. I still personally love the Google Pixel 7 lineup, the 7, the 7 Pro, and the 7A if you're looking for something a little bit less expensive. But these phones are also available on the used market for very cheap, and I would not hesitate to recommend those phones at all right now. If you're looking for a foldable phone, you've got two options right now: the Samsung Z Fold 5 and the Google Pixel Fold. Now, both these options are fine. It really comes down to which kind of screen you're looking for. Samsung's has a little bit of a taller screen, while the Google Pixel Fold has a little bit wider of a screen. But if you are looking for a flip phone, this is probably the one area that I would recommend Motorola. The Motorola Razr, after seeing a few years of iterations, has actually become quite a good phone. They not only have a solid high-end product, but they also have a ridiculously inexpensive light model on sale for $499 right now. It's hard to go wrong with something like that. But really, when you skip out on the carrier programs and you just buy a phone outright, that's where the real fun starts to happen. Now, yes, buying a phone outright can be expensive, but remember, your monthly bill is now going to be significantly lower. You're not going to be locked into any contracts, and it's something that I've been doing for years now, and I highly recommend it to most people. So the Google Pixel 8 might be a really comparable phone to the iPhone 15. But if you were looking at something closer to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, then we've still got options for you. I would absolutely still recommend the Google Pixel 8 Pro, as well as the OnePlus 11. The OnePlus 11 not only has a bigger battery, a higher resolution screen, but also some incredible cameras. Not to mention the 256 gigabyte, 16 gigs of RAM version of the phone is on sale right now for $549. So this phone is comparable to the $1,000 iPhone 15 Pro Max at approximately half the price. And if it's not something that you're looking at upgrading today, the OnePlus 12 has already been announced, and that should be available later this year. Now, for my gamers out there are specific phones made for gaming. Here are some of the best from Asus. The ROG phones, as well as Red Magic, make some really incredible phones at ridiculously low prices. Now, typically these phones are going to be much more powerful, bigger, thicker, they are heavier because they build all of this extra in there so that you have the better battery life. These phones are also going to take a hit in different places, like their options for cameras, because they are focused so heavily on gaming and the aesthetics. If you are looking for the phone with the best camera available, I've already mentioned the Google Pixel lineup. Honestly, if you've watched MKBHD's year-end blind phone test, the Pixels have been victorious for years in a row now.
In second place is the Pixel 7 Pro, and first place is the Pixel 6a, the People's Choice camera of 2022.
We're still waiting on the 2023 full results, but I have a feeling the Pixels are still going to rank really high. If you are a pro user and you're looking for the most features possible, did you know that Sony still makes phones? The Sony Xperia 1 Mark V is an incredible phone with insane cameras on the back, as well as lots of really fun features if you pair this up with your Sony DSLR. And if you are still interested in a folding phone, I would absolutely recommend the OnePlus Open. I haven't personally used it yet, but every single other tech tuber is raving about how amazing it is for hundreds of dollars less than the Google and Samsung alternatives. It's an incredible looking phone with some incredible looking power and software to go along with it. And if you're looking for possibly my favorite phone, as well as something with the most character you have ever seen, this is the Nothing Phone 2. I absolutely love this phone, and it's probably the phone that I'm going to be using well into 2024. So if you want more information on this phone, click this video right here, and I've got a full walkthrough of why it's going to be my phone going into the new year.